Progress on the Dakota Access Pipeline was again disrupted on Tuesday and Wednesday as protesters stood in the way of bulldozers and other equipment, resulting in over 20 arrests. Events on the ground in North Dakota this week converge with Tuesday's Global Day of Action, for which demonstrations in Japan, New Zealand, Canada, and across Europe raised awareness of the struggle to defeat the pipeline. In one of the largest gatherings here in Washington, D.C., over 1,000 people, including former Democratic presidential nominee Bernie Sanders, gathered in front of the White House to demand that President Obama nix the $3.7 billion pipeline, which would bring fracked oil from North Dakota's Bakken Shale down through South Dakota, Iowa, and into Illinois.
We have got to change the federal government's relationship to the Native American people. The Native American people in this country have been taken advantage of for too long. They have been lied to. They have been exploited. That has got to change.
According to Dakota Access, they can treat us like less than human beings. They can stick dogs and mace on Native American women and children trying to protect their sacred sites. That's what we saw. But the world is watching. The world is now watching, and they're seeing what's happening.
We're protesting the Dakota Access Pipeline, which is going to run through 4 states and I think 1,172 miles or so, crossing the Missouri and the Mississippi rivers, which would affect the water of 18 million people, specifically the Standing Rock Sioux Native Americans.
Just like with the Keystone XL pipeline, which really showed that climate change was a legacy issue for President Obama, this pipeline fight has a chance to do the same thing. And so we're already seeing that President Obama's views on this may shift.
But while many, including Standing Rock Sioux Chairman Dave Archambault, along with the environmental law firm Earth Justice, which represented Standing Rock in their lawsuit, applaud Obama's actions, others have questions about the intents of his administration's decision, which curiously came only 15 minutes after the federal judge's refusal to grant an injunction. In a piece for the Chicago-based website Transformative Spaces, Indigenous activist Kelly Hayes said that Obama's decision is a calculated PR stunt, meant not to bring about any real change, but instead to quell dissident voices. Clearly, a major plot twist has occurred, she wrote, but it's not the one being sold. When a black or brown person is murdered by the police, typically without consequence, and public outrage ensues, one of the pacifications we're offered is that the Department of Justice will investigate the shooting. It's a de-escalation tactic on the part of the state. It helps transition away from moments when rage and despair collide, creating a cooling-off period for the public.
They're going to say they're going to stop, but the overall goal is to get as close as they possibly can and then get closer and closer until it goes through.
The skepticism surrounding the administration's decision only echoes what DAPL protesters have sensed more broadly from the government, media, and especially from the company building the pipeline, Energy Transfer Partners, which on Tuesday released a statement saying it would continue construction of the pipeline since, quote, the right-of-way for the entire pipeline has been obtained. Compounding that despair is the fact that neither Donald Trump nor Hillary Clinton have made a single comment about the struggle over Dakota Access Pipeline.
Our 350 Action organization, which is political in nature, has been on the campaign trail asking Clinton about this at every event. There was a fundraiser today where people were gathered, and the same thing happened a few years ago with Obama and Keystone. Everywhere he went, he was greeted with people asking him.
What has she said?
She hasn't said anything yet.
Does she ignore the questions?
She ignores the questions.
In the end, one thing is clear among those present at Tuesday's demonstration, regardless of the mainstream media's refusal to cover the struggle to stop the pipeline, and regardless of the Energy Transfer Partners' attempts to use force and violence against the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, protests must continue.
I can tell you that on the ground, people aren't leaving. The 2,000, now upwards of 4,000, when folks come in that actually live on Standing Rock, they come in on the weekends. We're talking a massive, massive encampment of Native American people that are saying no more. And those people, we know how to camp, we know how to live off the land, we know how to be in a winter camp. There are people from all over that have come there to bring their skills and bring their tribal cultural knowledge to share with each other. And these folks are not leaving. They want this pipeline. This has become more than just a pipeline. This is a stance for Indigenous rights. These people are willing to die to stop this pipeline.